The Haultain Street corridor starts at the Richmond Road traffic barrier and continues westward towards Government Street. This traffic barrier is a good mechanism as it makes it easier and less intimidating to cross Richmond Road. As you can see, this is a fairly quiet residential street. The flow of traffic is two-way for the length of Haultain. The streets are lined with houses for most of this corridor. Some things to consider when putting in a cycle path here are the effect this will have on residential parking. We are approaching the next major intersection of the route, Shelbourne Street at Haultain. Here in the future, the Haultain corridor will intersect the Shelbourne-Biketoria corridor, so it is important to visualize the possible bike interchange that will exist here. How will cyclists make safe right and left turns to connect with Shelbourne? How will cars be slowed to accommodate the larger volumes of cyclists at this intersection? At this intersection, you can see once again there is a traffic calming feature in the middle of the road to accommodate cyclists passing through, but limit through traffic from cars. Here, there are some sensors in the ground to change the light when a bicycle approaches the intersection. This is a good safety feature in place already, as crossing Shelbourne Street can be risky due to the high traffic volume on Shelbourne. Here we have a bus stop on the right-hand side. Along this portion of the route, cyclists will be sharing the road with big buses. And as you can see, when large trucks or buses pass by the street with two-way travel and parking on both sides becomes a bit tight squeeze. We are now passing through a small commercial strip. Along this strip, special consideration will have to be made around parking for customers and access points for stores' deliveries. As well, more attention must be paid by cyclists passing through to avoid pedestrians. Pay attention as we pass through intersections. The road has been set up as a through street, so all intersecting roads have stop signs. This right-of-way makes traveling along the corridor quicker and safer. We are now approaching one of the trickier intersections of the current Haultain corridor. Cook Street is a busy street with buses passing along. There is no light for through traffic, so cyclists often opt to travel along the pedestrian crosswalk in order to be seen and safely get across Cook Street. This crossing will have to be greatly improved in order to make it safer cycling corridor. After crossing Cook, we take Blackwood Street up to Kings Road. As you can see from the jumping camera and cracks in the street, Blackwood is not in very good condition for cycling at the moment. It will need to be improved to make it a safer cycling environment. Here is a little jog to take us onto Kings Road. This pass is only accessible for pedestrians and cyclists, so interaction with the cars here is very limited. Kings Road through this section is a nice wide street. It is quiet and generally has low traffic volumes. As you can see, a car passing in the opposite direction gives plenty of space for passing. We have reached the busy intersection at Quadra and Kings. Thankfully here, there is a light to guide us through the traffic. We continue through the intersection onto Kings Street. On this section, there are traffic calming speed bumps in place, which is helpful when sharing the road with fast cars. Once again, the road is in poor condition here. New cycle path development here will help the road conditions for both cars and cyclists. Now we slow down to take a right turn onto Bay Street. After being on quiet streets, this is a bit of a transition to sharing the road with faster moving traffic. Cyclists traveling in the opposite direction of the corridor will have to make left turn from Bay to Kings, so some safety measures will have to be put in place. A separate bike signal for turning cyclists may be necessary. This last segment of the corridor is only a short 2 blocks until we meet up with the Government and Gorge cycling corridor up ahead. We are approaching the end of the Haultain corridor, which intersects a segment of the Government and Gorge Road Biketoria corridor.